stop. If you are over 60 years old, or if you love someone who is, you need to watch this video right now. Because today, I'm going to tell you about 3 symptoms that millions of people over 60 are experiencing right now and completely ignoring. They think it's just aging. They think it's just tiredness. They think it'll go away on its own. It won't. And in many cases, it's already too late by the time they find out the truth. I've spent over 2 decades working with patients in their 60s, 70s, and 80s. I've sat across from families in hospital rooms and watched the devastation on their faces when they heard the words, "If only we had caught this sooner." That phrase haunts me, because here's what no one is telling you. These 3 symptoms are not random. They are not just getting older. They are your body sending you an emergency signal. A signal that most people, and even some doctors, misread entirely. And the most dangerous one? It's something almost every person over 60 experiences regularly. You've probably felt it yourself this week. Maybe even today. But before we get there, I need you to understand something critical. Your body after 60 does not work the same way it did at 40. The warning systems change. The signals get quieter, and the consequences get faster. A symptom that meant nothing at 45 can mean everything at 65. That's not fear-mongering. That's biology. We're going to cover all 3 symptoms today. What they really mean, what the science says, and most importantly, exactly what you should do the moment you notice them. We'll go from the serious to the one that shocked even my most experienced colleagues. Number 1 on this list has been linked to a condition that triples your risk of a life-altering medical event within 12 months. Triples it. And the terrifying part? It feels completely harmless. Stay with me, because the next few minutes could genuinely change or even save your life. All right, let's get into it. And I want you to really pay attention here, because these first 2 symptoms are the ones most people laugh off. They joke about them at family dinners. They blame them on a bad night's sleep or getting older. But the data tells a very different story. Symptom number 3, swollen feet or ankles that come and go. You've noticed it before. You take off your shoes at the end of the day and your ankles look puffy. Maybe your socks leave a deep ring around your leg. Maybe your feet feel tight and heavy by evening. You think, I was just on my feet too long. Here's the truth. After 60, intermittent swelling in the lower extremities, what doctors call peripheral edema, is one of the earliest visible signs that your heart, kidneys, or lymphatic system is beginning to struggle. Let me explain the science simply. Your heart pumps blood down to your feet. Gravity does the easy part. But getting that blood back up, that requires strong vessel walls, healthy valves, and a heart that's firing efficiently. After 60, all 3 of those things begin to weaken. When the system slows down, fluid leaks out of the blood vessels and pools in the tissue of your feet and ankles. That pooling? That's the swelling you're seeing. I had a patient, and let's call him Gerald, 67 years old, retired teacher, came to me because his wife insisted. He'd been dealing with ankle swelling for almost 8 months. Always dismissed it. Said it was because he sat too long watching football on weekends. We ran a full panel. His ejection fraction, the measure of how effectively his heart pumps, had dropped to 40%. Normal is above 55%. He had early-stage heart failure, and he had no idea. What you should do: press your finger firmly into your ankle or the top of your foot for 5 seconds. Release. If the indentation stays, if the skin doesn't bounce back immediately, that is called pitting edema. Do not wait. See a doctor within 48 hours. Also, reduce your sodium intake immediately. Excess sodium causes your body to retain water and dramatically worsens swelling. Track your salt. Keep it under 2,500 milligrams per day. And elevate your legs above heart level for 20 minutes every evening. It helps, but it is not a solution. It is a temporary measure while you get checked. Symptom number 2, waking up to urinate. More than twice per night. This one gets laughed about constantly. People joke, "Oh, I'm just old, I get up 3 times a night now." Stop laughing, because waking up more than twice per night to urinate, a condition called nocturia, after 60 is not a punchline. It is a clinical warning sign that something deeper is happening inside your body. Here's what the science shows. A major study published in the Journal of the American Heart Association followed over 14,000 adults over the age of 60. Those who woke up 2 or more times per night to urinate had a 40% higher risk of cardiovascular disease compared to those who didn't. 40%. Why? Because nocturia at this age is frequently caused by one of 3 serious underlying issues: heart dysfunction, kidney disease, or uncontrolled blood pressure. When your heart isn't pumping efficiently during the day, fluid accumulates in your legs. The moment you lie down at night, that fluid redistributes and floods your kidneys, forcing them to produce urine rapidly. So those nighttime bathroom trips? They may actually be your heart waking you up. I remember a 71-year-old woman, a Margaret, came in for a routine check. Mentioned almost as an afterthought that she'd been waking up 3 times a night forever. We investigated. Her blood pressure was dangerously high, and her kidneys were showing early signs of damage. She had no other symptoms. That afterthought she almost didn't mention, it saved her kidney function. What you should do, track your pattern for 1 week. Write down how many times you wake up each night. If it's consistently 2 or more, report it to your doctor. Ask specifically for a kidney function panel, a blood pressure assessment, and if warranted, a cardiac evaluation. Do not accept "that's just aging" as an answer. And now we're building toward the one that changes everything. Symptom number 1 is the one people feel all the time, the one that feels the most innocent, and the one that carries the most danger. We're getting close now. And I need you to stay with me, because what I'm about to share in this phase is where things get serious. We've talked about swollen ankles. We've talked about those nighttime bathroom trips that everyone jokes about. But here's what I want you to understand before we reach number 1. These symptoms don't always show up alone. In my clinical experience, and in the research, they cluster. They travel together. And when 2 or 3 of them appear at the same time in a person over 60, that is your body moving from a whisper to a scream. Let's talk about what connects all 3 of these symptoms at a deeper level. The hidden link: chronic inflammation. After 60, here's something most people are never told. After the age of 60, your body enters a state that researchers now call inflammaging, a term combining inflammation and aging. It means your immune system, which was once your greatest defender, begins to misfire. It starts producing low-grade chronic inflammation throughout the body, quietly, invisibly, every single day. No fever, no obvious pain, no dramatic signal. Just a slow, silent burn, damaging your blood vessels, weakening your heart muscle, stressing your kidneys, and disrupting your nervous system. A landmark study from the National Institute on Aging tracked over 11,000 adults over 60 for a period of 10 years. The finding was extraordinary. Those with elevated inflammatory markers were 3 times more likely to experience a major cardiac event, kidney failure, or stroke within a decade. 3 times more likely. And the 3 symptoms we're covering today, the swelling, the nocturia, and the one coming up next, are all downstream effects of this one hidden process happening inside your body right now. That's what makes them so dangerous. They look different on the surface, but underneath, they share the same fire. A deeper look at what's already at stake. Let me give you some numbers that I think about every single day. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, heart disease kills 1 person every 33 seconds in the United States alone. The majority of those deaths occur in adults over 60. The American Kidney Foundation reports that 1 in 3 American adults is at risk for kidney disease, and the vast majority don't know it until significant damage has already occurred. And stroke, one of the most devastating events a human being can experience, has its highest incidence rate in adults between the ages of 65 and 74. These are not distant statistics. These are your neighbors, your siblings, your spouse, maybe, if you ignore the signs, yourself. I'm not telling you this to frighten you into paralysis. I'm telling you this because knowledge is the most powerful medicine I have ever seen work. The patients who came to me informed, who tracked their symptoms, who asked the right questions, who refused to accept "it's just age," those patients did better. Consistently, measurably, dramatically better. A story I will never forget. I want to tell you about a man named Robert, 72 years old, former engineer, sharp mind, strong personality, the kind of man who fixed things himself and never asked for help. His wife brought him in. He didn't want to come. He had ankle swelling, had for a year. He was waking up twice, sometimes 3 times a night. And he had the 3rd symptom, the one we haven't talked about yet. He'd had all 3 for over 8 months. He called them inconveniences. By the time we completed his workup, his kidneys were functioning at 34% capacity. He had stage 3 chronic kidney disease. His heart showed structural changes consistent with years of unmanaged hypertension. He looked at me across the desk and said, "Why didn't anyone tell me these things mattered?" I think about Robert often, because the answer is, someone should have. And that's exactly why you're watching this video. What you should be doing right now, before we even get to number 1. While you're watching, I want you to do something. Think about the last 30 days. Have you experienced the ankle swelling we described? Even once? Have you been waking up more than twice a night regularly? Write it down. Seriously, pause this video and write it down. Because when we get to symptom number 1, and you recognize it, you're going to want that list in your hand when you call your doctor tomorrow morning. And now, we are finally here. Symptom number 1, the one that is so common, so normalized, so universally dismissed by people over 60, that it has become the most deadly symptom on this list. Not because it's the most dramatic, but because it's the most ignored. All right, this is the moment. I need you to take a breath and really hear what I'm about to say. Because symptom number 1 is something you have almost certainly experienced this week, maybe this morning, and I promise you, you did not think anything of it. Symptom number 1, extreme fatigue that sleep doesn't fix. Not tiredness. Not the normal, I had a long day feeling. I'm talking about a deep, heavy, bone-level exhaustion that is there when you wake up. That is still there after 8 hours of sleep. That makes simple tasks, walking to the kitchen, climbing one flight of stairs, carrying groceries from the car, feel like running a marathon. You sit down after doing almost nothing, and you feel completely drained. You tell yourself, I'm just getting older. You tell your family, I didn't sleep well. You tell your doctor, and here is the tragedy. Most of the time, your doctor nods and moves on. But here is what the science actually says. The science that changes everything. Persistent, unexplained fatigue in adults over 60 is one of the most under-investigated and over-dismissed symptoms in all of modern medicine. And it is one of the most dangerous. Here is why. Your body runs on oxygen. Every cell, every organ, every thought you think, every step you take. All of it requires a continuous, efficient delivery of oxygen through your bloodstream. After 60, 3 things can begin to silently disrupt that delivery system. First, cardiac output decline. Your heart may begin pumping less blood per beat. Not enough to trigger obvious symptoms. Not enough to show up on a casual examination. But enough that your muscles, your brain, and your vital organs are receiving slightly less oxygen than they need. Every single day. The result? Your body begins rationing energy. It prioritizes survival functions. And everything else, your energy, your motivation, your physical capacity, gets less fuel. You feel it as fatigue. Second, anemia. After 60, the kidneys, which are responsible for producing a hormone called erythropoietin that signals your bone marrow to make red blood cells, begin to slow down. Fewer red blood cells means less oxygen carried through the body. A study published in the Annals of Internal Medicine found that 1 in 5 adults over the age of 65 has anemia, and the majority are completely unaware. 1 in 5, that is not a rare condition. That is an epidemic hiding in plain sight. Third, and most alarming, silent cardiac ischemia. This is the one that stopped my colleagues in their tracks when the research emerged. Silent cardiac ischemia means your heart muscle is not receiving enough blood, not because of a heart attack, not because of dramatic chest pain, but because of gradual, progressive narrowing of the coronary arteries. No pain, no pressure, no classic warning signs, just fatigue. A groundbreaking study from the American Journal of Cardiology found that in adults over 60 who presented with unexplained chronic fatigue as their only symptom, 31% had measurable, significant coronary artery disease discovered on further testing. Nearly 1/3. They came in tired. They left with a cardiac diagnosis. The story that broke my heart. Her name was Patricia, 64 years old, retired school principal, the most organized, disciplined woman I have ever met. She came to me because she was tired. Not dramatically tired. Not collapsing tired. Just persistently, quietly, relentlessly exhausted. She had reduced her morning walks. She'd stopped cooking elaborate dinners because standing in the kitchen wore her out. She'd begun taking afternoon naps, something she had never done in her life. She was embarrassed to even bring it up. She apologized to me, actually apologized for wasting my time over tiredness. I ran a full workup, cardiac stress test, blood panel, kidney function, inflammatory markers. She had 3 partially blocked coronary arteries. She was 6 to 12 months away from a major heart attack. We intervened. She had a procedure. She recovered. 2 years later, she sent me a card. Inside it, she wrote, "I almost didn't come in. I thought I was just old." I keep that card in my desk drawer. Because Patricia is why I make videos like this one. What you must do if you recognize this symptom. If you are over 60 and you have been experiencing fatigue that sleep does not cure, please listen carefully. Step 1. Do not dismiss it. Do not wait another month. Do not tell yourself it will pass. Step 2. See your doctor and ask, specifically, for the following tests: a complete blood count to check for anemia, a comprehensive metabolic panel to assess kidney and liver function, a thyroid function test, a cardiac stress test if fatigue has been present for more than 4 weeks, and an inflammatory marker panel including CRP and ESR. Step 3. If your doctor says it's just aging, push back. Ask for the test by name. You have the right to investigate your own body. Step 4. Track your fatigue. Rate it from 1 to 10 every morning for 2 weeks. Note what makes it worse. Note what, if anything, makes it better. Bring that log to your appointment. This is your life. Fight for it. And now, if you have been paying attention, you may have noticed something: swollen ankles, frequent nighttime urination, unexplained persistent fatigue. 3 symptoms, 3 different systems of the body, one shared silent enemy underneath all of them. Take a breath. I know that was a lot to take in. And I know some of you are sitting there right now running through a mental checklist, thinking about your own body, thinking about your spouse, your parent, your closest friend. That feeling you have right now, that heightened awareness, hold on to it. Because that is not fear. That is wisdom. And wisdom's acted upon quickly saves lives. I have watched it happen hundreds of times across my career. The patient who paid attention, the spouse who insisted, the person who watched a video like this one and decided, today is the day I take this seriously. Those people change their outcomes. You can too. Let's bring it all together. Let's go back through what we covered today, because I want these 3 symptoms burned into your memory. Symptom number 3, swollen feet or ankles that come and go. Not just discomfort, not just a long day on your feet. Intermittent swelling in your lower extremities after 60 can be an early visible signal that your heart, kidneys, or lymphatic system is under stress. Do the pitting edema test. Press. Release. Watch. If the indentation stays, act within 48 hours. Symptom number 2, waking up more than twice per night to urinate. Not a joke. Not just aging. Research links this pattern directly to cardiovascular disease, kidney dysfunction, and uncontrolled hypertension. Track your nights for 1 week. If the pattern is consistent, report it. Ask for a kidney panel. Ask for a blood pressure assessment. Ask for answers. Symptom number 1, persistent, bone-deep fatigue that sleep does not fix. The most common, the most dismissed, and statistically the most dangerous. Nearly 1/3 of adults over 60 who present with unexplained fatigue as their only symptom are found to have significant underlying cardiac disease. This symptom deserves a full investigation, not a shrug. 3 symptoms, all 3 connected by the same underlying process: the slow, silent inflammation and system decline that begins accelerating after the age of 60. The truth about aging that nobody tells you. Here is what I want to leave you with. Aging is not the enemy. Ignorance is the enemy. Your body is extraordinary. Even at 60, even at 70, even at 80. It is still communicating with you every single day, through sensations, through symptoms, through signals that most people have been taught to ignore. The medical system is overwhelmed. Appointments are short. Doctors are stretched thin. And the default answer, far too often, is it's just part of getting older. But you are not a default. You are a specific human being with a specific body sending specific signals. And you deserve specific answers. The patients I have seen thrive in their 60s, 70s, and beyond. They shared one common trait: not genetics, not luck, not even the best medications. They paid attention. They showed up informed. They asked hard questions. They refused to normalize symptoms that deserved investigation. They treated their body like it mattered. Because it does. Your action plan, starting today. Before this video ends, I want you to commit to 3 things. 1. Do a body check right now. Ankles, sleep patterns, energy levels. Be honest with yourself. If any of the 3 symptoms we discussed today apply to you, write them down before you close this app. 2. Make the call. If you have been putting off a checkup, schedule it this week. Not next month, not after the holidays. This week, bring your symptom list. Ask for the specific tests we discussed. Be your own advocate. 3. Share this video. Right now, think of one person over 60 in your life. A parent, a partner, a friend. Someone who would wave off these symptoms and say, "I'm fine." Send this to them. You may never know how much that one share mattered. But I have a feeling someday they will. Before you go, I have one question for you. I read every comment on this channel, every single one. And I want to ask you directly, Which of these 3 symptoms have you or someone you love been ignoring? Tell me in the comments below. Not just because it helps this video reach more people who need it, but because you might just inspire someone else watching to finally take action. Your story matters, your experience matters, and your life, at every age, is absolutely worth fighting for. If this video helped you today, please give it a like. Subscribe if you haven't already, because every week I bring you the information your body needs and that no one else is telling you clearly enough. I'll see you in the next one, and until then, please pay attention to your body. It is trying to talk to you.